Security challenges across the nation, concerned citizens called for proactive measures by security agencies as Inspector General of Police engages various groups
of the lingering
on peaceful resolution.
Farmers and headsmen. We took 3 months to do consultation.
Plateau State Governor takes his turn to brief the President on strategies to address security situation in his state. And did I hear you say queues again? We have the situation reports. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the network news tonight. We are live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. I am Ronke Kolawole. Ademola Adioye will join us from Lagos, and Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachiku is standing by in Kaduna, while Chinyere Okoye is in Enugu. We want to once again thank you for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has granted audience to the Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong in furtherance of his strategic engagement with critical stakeholders towards addressing the volatile security situation in parts of the country as a result of the farmers' herders-men conflicts. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the report.
Plateau, which used to be the hotbed of conflicts in Nigeria, has not only been insulated but can now be truly called the home of peace and tourism. What is the secret behind the prevailing peace enterprise? This is what Governor Simon Lalong came to share with President Muhammadu Buhari as the federal government strives to end permanently the recurrent farmers-graziers conflicts.
You take everybody as your own. In Plateau State, I did that because I inherited a protracted crisis in Plateau State. Most of the lingering crises were between farmers and headsmen. We took 3 months to do consultations, and Plateau people accepted that we must embrace ranching. Even with the Fulanis, everybody accepted. Today, in most parts of Plateau, you see beautiful, good relationship between headsmen and farmers. This December, when I came back, I learned the Fulanis are moving from one stage to the other, sensitizing their people on the need to embrace ranching.
The Plateau State Governor, who faulted steps being taken by some states in addressing the complex security challenge, described the cattle colonies option being proposed by government as a worthy initiative.
Nobody said the idea of colony is only for Fulani men. It is everybody's business. It's either you are grazing cattle, or you are grazing goats, or you are grazing sheep, or you are grazing pigs, or even chicken. Because the law will protect and restrict the movement of all these animals. It's general livestock. If you see a Fulani man grazing 100 cows, I am definitely sure, go and ask whether he owns those cows. You will find out that he owns maybe 4 or 5. The rest belong to somebody else. Big man. If you see a big farm of more than the 10,000 acres or 5,000 acres, it is not an ordinary farmer. It is big men, we big men. And if we are the ones, we must help the president, we must help the federal government to find ways of addressing these issues. Because agriculture is not ordinary agriculture now. It's a means of diversification. It's means of diversification. And if you have to diversify it, it's serious business for everybody. For everybody, it's not for a tribe. And so if we have to encourage people to do the business, I say that I will not use the word anti for any business.
The governor commends President Muhammadu Buhari for his genuine commitment to national security, stability, and prosperity.
Of course, the president is always happy when he hears that, number one, that your state is peaceful, and 2, that you are paying salaries up to date. For me, salary is no longer an issue in Plateau State. We pay salary up to date.
The planned visit to Plateau State by President Muhammadu Buhari was also discussed at the meeting. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Plateau and Kogi State governors have declared their support and willingness to key into the federal government's policy on herders colony. This was at a meeting with the Minister of Agriculture, Audu Ogbe, in Abuja, as reported by Musa Babaliyu.
The Discussing separately with Plateau and Kogi State governors, Agriculture Minister Adu Ogbe said the policy on cattle colony is not aimed at confiscating land to hand over to herdsmen, but a strategic measure to curb the incessant clashes between herdsmen and farmers. He said federal government will fund the project, while state governors are expected to provide land and encourage citizens to accept the program.
20, 30, 40 ranchers can share the same colony. A ranch is usually owned by an individual or a company, with sometimes very few have more than 200 or 300 cows. In a cattle colony, you could find 10, 20, 30,000 cows.
Both governors, Simon Lalong of Plateau and Yahaya Bello of Kogi State, expressed readiness to key into the project.
After the ranching policy, which we keyed into, we also heard about the introduction of another one, that is the cattle colony.
We are very confident that with the peaceful coexistence that is existing in Kogi State, we are going to drive it and make it a model that other states and even other countries will come out.
Kogi State is said to be among the major rice-producing states, seeking more support from the Ministry of Agriculture. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, at a meeting in Lafia, Nasarawa State, tasked Fulani and Tiv communities to work together in sustaining peaceful development. Joshua Ojito reports that Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura similarly appealed to traditional rulers in the area to engender harmonious coexistence.
Attacks in some communities of Benue State built up tension in border areas between the state and its closest neighbor of Nasarawa State. The situation has also come with the influx of internally displaced persons into the state for fear of attacks. The government of Nasarawa State has since taken steps to assist the displaced in Kiana and Away communities. The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, appeals to the Fulani and Tiv in the state to sustain peace. IGP Idris says the police, in collaboration with other security agencies, will deal with anyone found fomenting trouble in any part of the country in accordance with the law.
I'm deploying additional 5 mobile police units to Nasarawa State to assist and to reassure our brothers across the border.
Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura says the state government is committed to ensure the well-being of more than 15,000 IDPs who fled Benue State to neighboring communities of Nasarawa State.
What is of concern to me as governor of Nasarawa State is to ensure the sustenance of peace and stability in the state.
Representatives of Fulani, Tiv, traditional rulers and other stakeholders say they will continue to live in peace. They, however, say the implementation of anti-open grazing law in Benue State is causing panic in border communities and appeal for redeployment of more security personnel to ensure surveillance and patrols in border areas of Nasarawa and Benue States. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
And now, the United Nations Organization has assured Borno State government of continued support to the reconstruction and resettlement of areas affected by insurgency. Deputy Secretary General of the UN, Amina Mohammed, stated this during her assessment visit to Bama local government area of the state to take stock of what is on ground with a view to scaling up intervention. Mohammed Goni reports.
Amina Mohammed, in company of the Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said she was in the state to assess the humanitarian services being rendered in the front line and the level of progress recorded through the support of the UN system.
How we can address situations of access to ensure we have everyone so that we save more lives, but also how we deal with maintaining the crisis and working towards exiting to a reintegration of all of those that are displaced into their communities.
She noted with satisfaction the successes recorded by the Borno State government in the ongoing reconstruction of devastated communities. Amina Mohammed said the official engagement afforded her the opportunity to visit IDP camps and also interact with the theater commander on achievements of troops in combating terrorism.
We want to make the children of the poor to have the benefit that the children of the rich are getting. We want to equip all the classrooms with digital technology, air condition all the classrooms, all the hostels, provide the best facilities so that the orphans of the Boko Haram can have a first-grade education.
The Deputy Secretary General had earlier visited Bama Town, a community was hit by the insurgency. Places visited by the Deputy Secretary General include 21 Armored Brigade, where the delegation was briefed on military operations by the brigade commander, Brigadier General J.B. Auru, who solicited UN support in the area of clearing mines around the farmlands. While at Government Secondary School IDP camp, IOM officials told the Deputy Secretary General that the camp has over 50,000 persons. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has reiterated his commitment to improving the infrastructural needs of Air Force schools across the country. He stated this during his visit to the Air Force Comprehensive School, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Clement Barikui has details.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, reiterated his commitment to transform the Nigerian Air Force through investment in training and retraining of personnel in line with global best practices. Air Marshal Abubakar announced the partnership of the Nigerian Air Force with universities in Akwa Ibom State in the area of research and development to further cater for the maintenance challenges of fighter aircraft and helicopters operating in the country.
The Nigerian Air Force established schools in different parts of the country to cater for the educational needs of its personnel dependents as well as children of host communities on our basis.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Domi Manuel, while inaugurating the hostel block, expressed gratitude to the Nigerian Air Force for maintaining standard in its educational institutions across the country. Governor Emmanuel called for the establishment of an Air Force base in the state, promising to provide the necessary logistics for its smooth takeoff.
That now that we're on top, we must remain on top. Sustainability is one of the qualities of, excellence.
The Chief of Air Staff later paid a courtesy visit to Governor Domi Manuel in Government House, Uyo. A state gala was organized in his honor at the end of the event. In Uyo, Clement Barikui, NTA News.
And now to electoral matters. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja is to decide if INEC is to go ahead with the Anambra Central Senatorial election on Saturday. The court has fixed Friday 12th for that decision following an application by INEC for clarification on the election. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okiowo reports.
The Independent National Electoral Commission had fixed Saturday, 13th January of this year for elections into the Anambra Central Senatorial seat, which had remained without representation since 2015 when the court nullified Senator Ekwunife's candidature. But following an Abuja Federal High Court judgment presided over by Justice John Soho declaring Dr. Obiora Okonkwo as the due representative of the senatorial district on the 13th of December 2017, INEC had to approach the same court to clarify the situation in view of 3 previous Court of Appeal judgments which INEC counsel Chief Adegboyega Womolo said prompted INEC's decision to hold the elections.
The proceeding went very well, and His Lordship was patient with us. INEC is an independent body created by Constitution.
But counsel to Obiora Okonkwo, Chief Sebastian Horn, told the court that INEC, having consented to the December 13th consent judgment, cannot now refuse to acknowledge that the pre-election matter which brought up Obiora Okonkwo cannot be subordinated to the Court of Appeal cases.
If all parties are awaiting the outcome of this application in an affidavit voluntarily deposited by INEC, then it means they are ready to be bound. I want to believe that as a responsible public body, they will be bound. Even as a senior advocate, I'm saying that I will be bound.
In Abuja, Femi Okiowo, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports after these messages. Join us again.
Bros, I define correct words. Huh? See the shop for that side.
I will call that. Where be correct words?
Now the shop be down, now the next one.
Peter, see as people they pack, they go to the shop, go buy clothes. It don't reach like 5 days now. I just suspect this Tunde way this is where in Waka could carry Waka. See, I go blow whistle. I go blow whistle to Kuku spoil.
Your whistle. Come on, go investigate the matter before you blow whistle. Whistle blood. Come on, come on.
Thank you for coming.
Show first.
only you the second for this market. Why we said only your shop everybody they come? And you just want blow whistle. I go blow something.
This is not be whistle blowing matter. Now MTN goodie bag.
What it be MTN goodie bag?
With MTN goodie bag, if you carry your market enter another level, whether not for Facebook or for WhatsApp or for Twitter, for as low as 25 naira.
25 naira.
Yes.
Or buy 5 what you like for 50 naira. Dial *131# to start.
So with MTN goodie bag, your business go pure.
Standards Organization of Nigeria (SON) brings a new lease of life to Nigeria SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards to improve made in Nigeria products for export. We have developed more standards for products like sesame, cocoa, gari, and more, courtesy of our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turned around time for SUNCAP, MANCAP, and other certification processes. SON has intensified market surveillance, raids, and seizures to reduce substandard products in circulation, and offenders shall be prosecuted. Join SON in ridding our nation of substandard products. If you see something, say something. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards.
There's such a thing as irresistible taste,
and you'll discover it in every pack of Chi Exotic. When you feel the need to just relax, get lost in the taste.
The taste of celebration.
So, indulge and get lost in the taste of the Chi Exotic range of delicious fruit blends.
Oh, I love the taste.
Chi Exotic Nectar. I love the taste.
We want to buy Indomie noodles. 4 packs, please.
Yo.
This is not my Indomie. Please, sir, it's not Indomie. Don't call it Indomie. Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy our delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles.
Season's greatest from Indomie. Indomie. Tasty nutrition, good for you.
Meet Party for celebrating the high points of life with friends. Ah, selfie. Just a friend that keeps you nourished when you are by yourself.
Healthy goodness inside and out.
Packed with healthy nutrition, nourishing vitamins, power of protein, strength of calcium, revitalizing energy. Hollandia yogurt is bursting with goodness inside and out. Hollandia yogurt. It's all good.
Hollandia.
This year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration has commenced across the country. There will be a Jumet service in Abuja. The service will take place at the National Mosque. To this end, there will be diversion at Ku Muhammad Road by Benue Plaza and restriction between Sheraton Hotel and Shehu Yar'Adua Center, while Aruba Junction will be blocked. On Monday, there will be restriction and diversions at the Federal Secretariat by Eagle Square and Millennium Park, Finance Headquarters Junction, this day doomed towards Sheraton Hotel, Overhead Bridge near the National Mosque, and at Ato Drive Junction. Wishing the Nigerian Armed Forces and its veterans a successful celebration, announced the National Planning Committee.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher.
They hold us from the sea. Thank God that we came back home. They should not go there because it's not good. It's a very bad place. So they just may have us.
Even now, sir, they are shooting the boat they are going to use to go Italy. May they stop it. Our country is good. Our country is a blessed country. Now I know, say I know our country is a blessed country. I didn't I know before I for not travel from Nigeria to Libya. I know how much I spent.
Let these personal experiences serve as a lesson to all who would repeat their mistakes. A word is enough for the wise.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Glad to know you're still watching NTA Network News. Petrol queues have resurfaced in Abuja, and the fluctuating trend has become a source of concern for regulators and motorists alike. Lydia Sampson, who went around filling stations, reports that panic buying, allegations of sharp practice and parallel queues compound the situation.
The reasons for joining queues vary from one motorist to another. While some say they acted on information and drove to filling stations, others on the other hand have their tanks empty.
I have like half tank, but I say, okay, I don't know how the discuss will be.
Yeah. So we really don't know what is the, but they are telling us that the government and marketers have not reached a compromise.
So we're here to buy this.
Most motorists, in a resolve to cut short their stay at filling stations, created parallel lines, and unruly behavior by some others, unfortunately, is further worsening the situation and making the whole process cumbersome. The Department of Petroleum Resources say the deployment of their staff to filling stations to check on wholesome practice is still ongoing, and according to their report, there is no need for panic buying.
And I believe with what we are doing and with the continuous supply, people shouldn't panic. We have enough fuel in Abuja and environment. That I can guarantee you, because we have not seen anything that changed as far as the supply to the Abuja and environment is concerned.
The NNPC also stressed that its war room is still active and that petrol distribution across the nation has doubled.
Our field work and our intelligence has confirmed is, from a supply standpoint, there is product in every part of the country. The challenge we have at the moment is one of pricing.
Key players in the downstream say the situation will be resolved for the benefit of all Nigerians. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a fresh explosion has been reported at the Escravos Lagos pipeline, which supplies gas to power plants, including the West Africa gas pipeline system. In a swift reaction, the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Mikael Tibaru, has directed the immediate commencement of repairs on the affected areas, while alternatives have been made to augment the shortfall of gas to the affected power plants. Only a few days ago, a section of this pipeline was gutted by fire, but repaired immediately. Meanwhile, the NNPC has allayed fears by motorists on scarcity of fuel. A statement by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division of the NNPC, Udu Ugamadu, assured Nigerians that the NNPC has robust stock of fuel, which is sufficient for more than 30 days, while the price still remains at 145 naira per litre. The corporation, however, appeals to motorists to report any suspected hoarding of fuel and price hike by fuel stations. In the meantime, Nigerians have been urged to cooperate with the Buhari administration to endure the current petrol scarcity across the country, as it is working towards finding a lasting solution to this recurring problem. This is the submission of the Buhari campaign organization at a media briefing in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi has the details.
The group, which has identified itself with the successes of the Buhari administration in key sectors of the economy, security, and the fight against corruption, attributes the lingering fuel scarcity to what it described as deliberate attempt to distract attention from the good work done so far. The group appeals to Nigerians to keep faith with the government policies, believing that efforts are on to tackle the current fuel and security challenges through relevant processes.
He is fighting corruption. There are a lot of people that enriched
themselves through corruption ways. So they will not fold their arms and see him fighting them. They must fight back. But with the praise of all the Nigerians and good wills that we always pray to the president and his administration.
The Buhari Campaign Organization is one of the political groups that has been championing awareness for good governance in Nigeria. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Strong moral values are key to tapping into the benefits of the much-needed development which President Muhammadu Buhari has embarked upon through the provision of massive infrastructure. These views were expressed by guests on NTA's current affairs program, Moment for Thought.
Build all the massive railways, all the good roads. You need discipline and well-cultured citizens to utilize it as we see in other parts.
Yes. If we have leadership, headship that does not value morality, there is no way we will get it. That moral revolution will happen in the country.
Moment for Thought comes up tonight at 11:30 p.m. on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Elsewhere, party supporters of the All Progressive Congress in Kogi State have endorsed President Muhammadu Buhari for presidential ticket. This was at a gathering of delegates of the party from across the state. Sarah Umar Adamu completes the story.
The Kogi State All Progressive Congress Party executive, including local and wards representatives, as well as party supporters, passed a vote of confidence on President Muhammadu Buhari. The party stakeholders based their endorsement of the president on his achievements in the last 2 years, especially in the areas of security, war against corruption, and restructuring of the economy.
There are so many things that Buhari has done to this country. He has saved our country, and particularly in the northeast. If it were last 2 years, we could not have been here because of the Boko Haram and the fear of the unknown.
He is a man who loves Nigeria. He loves Nigerians.
He is really a man, and he deserves to come for the second tenure.
We don't have anybody who will compare with him. So we believe that he's somebody who will deliver, because he delivered most of the promises he made.
Highlight of the event was presentation of APC flags and posters of the president towards leaders. In Gombe, Zara Umar Adam, NTA News.
And in other news, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has highlighted plans for the 2018 fiscal year. These include peer review mechanism and greater synergies between the office of the SGF and counterparts at the state level. He was interacting with the Senate Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegmuloye reports.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, while proposing a 2018 budget of more than 9.8 billion naira, appealed to the Senate Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs to speedily pass the budget. He assured the senators that heads of agencies would be engaged proactively in a year that precedes the 2019 general elections.
Definitely there will be increase in intensity of activities as we have our special advisors, senior special assistants, run programs and projects for the government to ensure that at least policies of government have a buy-in of the people of the country.
To me, it's good news. It makes the work of the National Assembly in the idea of budget tracking and implementation even a lot easier.
Because of the enormous responsibility attached to that office, if today you bring 3 times the amount you brought 2017, this committee will definitely approve.
Also appearing before the committee were heads of the Federal Character Commission and other agencies. Meanwhile, President of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Chinedu Okoronkwo, has briefed newsmen on the current fuel situation in the country. He assured that the association would collaborate with the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, to solve the crisis.
With what the committee have done, we have immediate solution, medium term and long term. We're looking at a permanent solution. And what is it? Refinery, refinery, refinery.
He further explained that IPMAN would play its role alongside the committee set up by the Minister of State for Petroleum, Ibe Kachiku. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
Still staying with the legislature, budget scrutiny continues at the National Assembly as the Pension Transition Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, defends its 2018 budget before the House of Representatives Committee on Pension. The agency says this year it will embark on the enrollment of pensioners into the National Health Insurance Scheme. Ignatius Nko reports.
After presenting the highlights of its 2017 budget performance, the Executive Secretary of PTAD, Sharon Ikazu, observed that the agency has proposed in the 2018 budget the acquisition of equipment for the verification of pensioners every 6 months to ascertain those who have died. She explained that it takes the agency a period of 4 months to payroll pensioners after verification to ensure quality assurance in the process.
In the past, pensioners will be verified a year or two. They still have not been paid. Now, we're giving ourselves a timeline. Within 5-6 months of verification, we ought to be able to compute, payroll the pensioners for them to get their monthlies and their arrears.
PTAD said it will soon begin the verification of NITEL and MTEL pensioners. The committee commended the organization and advised the management to ensure that any innovation it introduces into the system must be sustainable.
So years you will know the tax before you, and that the House has given so much importance on pension matters.
Lack of a permanent office building, inadequate funding for inherited pension liabilities were among the challenges identified by the agency. Similarly, the House Committee on Healthcare Services continued with healthcare agencies where it warned against extra budgetary provisions by the agencies. The committee had earlier scrutinized 2018 budgets of 9 agencies. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
Ademola is on standby in our Lagos Network Center for top stories from that zone. Ademola, it's now your turn.
Thank you, and a warm welcome to Lagos. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has appealed to Nigerians to exercise patience as the federal government is working round the clock to ensure availability of prepaid meters in the country. The minister said this when he inspected the facility of the National Meter Test Station in Lagos. Ken Igbeluhe has details.
The inability to provide electricity to consumers with prepaid meters has remained a major concern in the power sector. The establishment of the National Meter Test Station under the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Limited is to ensure that electrical appliances used in the Nigerian electricity supply industry meet the required standard for the country. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, who inspected the facility at the station, described the station as strategic for the growth of the power sector.
General safety test to ensure that the meter can withstand heat, that the meter will not burn. That's the first test that we saw. After that, we saw the accuracy test in 2 stages, trying to ensure that the meters read accurately by sampling.
The National Meter Test Station will further ensure the accuracy for proper accountability of energy produced, delivered, supplied and utilized by the consumers.
When you are bringing large consignment, we want to be sure that you didn't manufacture the best meter for us to test and give you a certification, that meter you continue to produce the large consignment that will be deployed in the industry.
While the meter testing and certification is ongoing, the minister appealed to Nigerians to exercise patience. He said the challenges being experienced with the meters will soon be a thing of the past, as consumers will soon begin to pay for the power they consume using the prepaid meters. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
Following the release of the 2019 election timetable by the Independent National Electoral Commission, the resident electoral commissioner, Lagos State, Sam Olumekun, organized an interface with the leadership of the political parties. Jessiton Moses reports that representatives of about 30 registered political parties converged on the INEC state headquarters for the interface.
The meeting, according to the resident electoral commissioner, Sam Olumekun, was to intimate party leaders for the newly released 2019 election timetable. Issues deliberated upon at the meeting include the 1.4 million permanent voters cards that are yet to be collected across the state and creation of 10 additional registration centers in response to parties' demand.
We have had a lot of useful contributions from them. We have elucidated the schedule of activities to them, and we expect them to also work in tandem with INEC.
Party representatives charge INEC to ensure transparency at every stage of the election process.
INEC has done the best thing by giving us the timetable, election timetable ahead of time.
That tells you they are ready for good work.
There are over 6 million registered voters in Lagos.
Jesuton Moses, NTA News.
Achievers. You're still watching NTA Network News. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news continues. Stay with us.
100%. Breakfast isn't complete without Chivita 100% fruit juice. Made from real natural fruits with no added sugar. So to be at your best, start every day the Chivita 100% way. With 100% quality, 100% commitment, 100% goodness, 100% achievement. Start your day the Chivita 100% way.
Straight A's mean better days. On those days I worry, my mind's so blurry. Studied every chapter, still can't find the answer. Always is the answer with its comfortable top layer and reliable protection with Super Gel. No stay, no gel. I know what gets straight A's mean better days. Our future starts today. Stay happy always.
Now for only 150 naira, get the new Always Pocket Money Pack.
You're still watching NTA Network News and talking business now. Oil prices at $70 per barrel this Thursday, and the Nigerian Stock Exchange sustains bullish run to set another record. Business News is next with Chiazalam Ekiye.
It's great to have you join us on Business News. Bureau de Change operators in Nigeria have urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to reduce foreign exchange buying rate from the current 360 naira to 350 naira to the dollar. President Association of Bureau de Change operators of Nigeria, Aminu Gwadabe, is worried that small transaction margins charged by BDCs are not sufficient to keep their operations going. The association says it will continue to work closely with the CBN to ensure that more sources of forex to the BDCs are explored. And world food prices rose by 8.2% in 2017 from the previous year, reaching their highest annual value since 2014 on an index compiled by the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO. Food on international markets is still 24% cheaper than its 2011 high in supplies of many commodities, and the index of cereals, dairy products, meat and sugar also remain ample. Meanwhile, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries says it will stick with production cuts for the rest of the year as the group makes headway towards its goal of cleaning an oversupply of crude. Oil demand showed surprising growth in 2017, and compliance with output cuts by OPEC and allied producers increased. And 36 ships laden with petroleum products, food items and other goods are expected to arrive at Papa and Tinkan Island ports in Lagos from January 29th. The Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA) stated this in its publication this Thursday. NPA says the ship contained bulk wheat, bulk salt, frozen fish, bulk gas, bulk fertilizer, aviation fuel, diesel and petrol. And Nigeria's oil share index rose above 43,000 points Thursday, a level last seen in October 2008. That's business news. I'm Chiazala Mekia. The news continues. Please stay with us.
And business-related is our next story, which says that the Central Bank of Nigeria is re-strategizing to bring up the number of financially inclusive persons in the country to 80% by the year 2020, following a reduction from figures earlier recorded in surveys. Inaugurating the Abuja Financial Inclusion State Steering Committee, Elizabeth Agu, branch controller of the Apex Bank, says there is a growing need to reach everyone with appropriate financial products. Let's have more on that report from Leah Katu Babatunde.
Around 2 billion people do not use formal financial services, and more than 50% of adults in the poorest households are unbanked. For the World Bank, financial inclusion is a key enabler to reducing poverty and boosting prosperity, and so it called for universal financial access (UFA) by 2020. In Nigeria, 46.3% of adults were discovered to be financially excluded, and despite all efforts to bridge this gap and meet the target of 80% inclusion, present statistics show Nigeria has a 41.6% exclusion rate with just 3 years to the 2020 target. These inform the new drive to get more adults into the inclusion net by the central bank.
Letting people know the importance of being financially included and the benefits. I'm sure you can see the benefits now of being anywhere and transferring money from your phone. As soon as people get used to that feeling, they will not look back.
Officials of financial institutions and state authorities are working with the Apex Bank to address issues that surround the implementation of National Financial Inclusion Strategy and achieve enhanced access of all state residents irrespective of where they live.
This will go a long way in empowering the citizens, especially the vulnerable groups such as youth, women and the rural dwellers, who are always at the receiving end.
Financial inclusion means that individuals and businesses have access to useful and affordable financial products and services that meet their needs, which include transactions, payments, savings, credit, and insurance delivered in a responsible and sustainable way. In Abuja, I'm Leka Babatunde, NTA News.
From that report, we cross to Cross River State, where the agricultural sector will soon receive a boost with the unveiling of the Ayade Premium rice locally produced in the state. The development, Governor Ben Ayade said, is to encourage local production as the nation strives towards rice sufficiency and food security. Uduak Etim has the details.
One of the staple food in the country is adjudged the world's second most important cereal crops based on the increase in its production across major states in Nigeria. With the federal government intervention and support of local rice production, Cross River State hopes to be the leading producer of rice in the country as it has grown its own rice, milled, bagged and unveiled to consumers what it can produce.
Cross River State set up a microfinance bank to provide financial support those who want to go into agri. And I use this opportunity to tell federal government, people cannot go into agriculture unless government is ready to assist them with the infrastructure.
Representative of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Nyefioro Morin, commended Cross River State for keying into the CBN Anchor Borrower Scheme to increase its productivity. Some members of the National Assembly also witnessed the unveiling.
The Central Bank is also grateful to you for having taken part in the agricultural value chain.
There's no reason Nigeria to continue to import rice. We urge all the people of Cross Rivers to support this giant project of Professor Ben Ayade because it's a model of development.
In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
For more reports in our lineup, let's join Suleiman in our Kaduna studios. Hello, Suleiman.
Thank you very much, Ronke, and a warm welcome. Unknown gunmen have last Wednesday attacked the residence of the former Chief Justice of the Federation, Mahmoud Mohammed, in Kaduna, killing 2 policemen on duty and cutting away some firearms. Ahmad Muhammad Usman has the details.
The bullet-riddled wall of the Kainji Road residence of the former Chief Justice Mahmoud Around Ungweri Mijare in Kaduna Metropolis is evidence of the sporadic shots fired by the government during the attack that happened around 8 in the evening. It was gathered that the gunmen arrived at the residence in an ash-colored Gulf brand vehicle targeting the 2 policemen on duty, killing one Corporal Abdullah Aminu on the spot, while his colleague Sergeant Yakubu Ali died later in the hospital. Yahasa Ali Su is an eyewitness.
Sitting with Corporal Abdullah and Sergeant Yakubu Ali when a Gulf 2 ash color stopped in front of us and suddenly start shooting sporadically at us. Sergeant Abdullah died at the spot.
Kaduna State Police Command reacts on the incident.
The men were deployed on official duty at the retired justice house, and I think they were patrolling around the vicinity of the compound because of the location of the house. Some hoodlums came in a car and stopped and shot the 2 of them. So that's the hazard of the job. We are going after them and we'll bring them to justice very soon.
As effort was on to track down the attackers, one of the slain security men was buried at Abapa Burial Ground in Kaduna Metropolis. In Kaduna, Hamad Mahmoud Usman, NTA News.
The cost implication of import and export of commodities to and from the northern part of Nigeria has been a threat to the survival of businesses and the renewed drive to stimulate export. The recent inauguration of the Inland Dry Port in Kaduna by President Muhammadu Buhari, analysts say, is expected to put to rest these threats. Abdullah Muhammad examines the effect of this development on the agricultural produce from different parts of the northern region.
On the table here, displayed for sale, are different products that are being produced across the 23 local government areas of Kaduna State. But the most patronized in the foreign market is ginger, and this is because of its quality.
This betrays the capacity of the northern region to export a variety of raw and semi-processed materials to manufacturers in different parts of the world. Nigeria's ginger, which is largely cultivated in southern Kaduna, has a special place in the international market. But the process of exporting the product was a risk only few were taking.
The greatest problem we have always had is that not only for ginger, for every dry commodity, because of the humidity in Lagos. Anytime you take your commodities to Lagos, and then take samples, send them overseas for quality check and assurance, by the time you come back, the moisture would have affected.
Go to Lagos, from Lagos to Apapa itself, it takes you a lot of time wasting. Some goods are perishable before you know they will be wasted.
The sighting of the dry port in Kaduna is no doubt a relief to those involved in the export and import of commodities. More interesting is the fact that the demand for ginger in the global market is expected to hit a whopping sum of $4.18 billion by the year 2022. Ginger from Nigeria sells at about 4 to 6 euro per kilo at the international market, and Nigeria is placed the 3rd largest producer of ginger in the world. Analysts say the onus now lies on the government to remain committed to meeting deadlines set for the completion of railway infrastructure, especially the tracks that links the Kaduna Dry Port to the Apapa Port in Lagos. In Kaduna, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA News.
And with that report, it's back to you, Ronke, for more on the network news.
Thank you. Nigerian returnees from Libya received by Governor Ogwai. Over now to Chinyere for this and more.
Thank you, Ronke, and welcome to Enugu. Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi has commended President Muhammadu Buhari and the Nigerian Armed Forces for the sacrifices they make in defending the territorial integrity of the country. The governor made the statement during the Armed Forces Remembrance Day and Emblem Appeal Week lunch in Enugu. Ijoma Ugweke has details.
Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration offers opportunity to show concern and support to the fallen heroes and veterans. The yearly appeal week was also designed by government to help ex-servicemen and women who have served the country meritoriously. Deputy Governor Mrs. Cecilia Ezilo reassured those alive that the country will not forget them.
I call on all in Enugu State to support the Legion by donating generously and cheerfully to ensure the proper rehabilitation of its members.
The chairman, Nigerian Legion Enugu Council, said the State Legion has advanced and empowered 50 widows of fallen heroes. Among them are widows of soldiers who died in the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast.
I have a 3-point agenda for the period of our stay in office: sanitizing the Legion, modernizing the Legion, advancing the Legion.
The ceremony drew personalities and representatives of various security agencies who took part in the launch of the emblem. In Enugu, Ijobu Gweke, NTA News.
10 returnees of Enugu State origin from Libya have arrived in Enugu. Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi are receiving them at Government House, charged young people to invest their talents in meaningful ventures rather than searching for greener pastures in foreign lands. Again, Ijoma Ugweke reports.
10 males arrived in Enugu in good condition, while 1 female is currently receiving attention at a hospital in Port Harcourt due to a head injury she sustained while in Libya.
We got that information. I relayed that information to you, and you quickly provided their return to Enugu.
Governor Ugwuanyi, who frowned at the risk young people take in their quest for money, advised that people should avoid illegal traveling.
Funds to help them undertake necessary medical checks and also reintegrate them, their families, and the society at large.
Some of the returnees spoke on their ordeal.
The type of pipe they used to collect the water system, their own is very strong. They will use that pipe, start from down from your leg to your chest. They will pulse your head.
The returnees, who are now in the state government custody, are receiving attention from all quarters. In Enugu, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
And that's the much we have for you from here. It's back to you, Ronke.
Thank you, Chinyere. And now to labor issues. Leaders of the organized labor unions under the aegis of the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC have called on Governor Nasir Ahmad El-Rufai of Kaduna State to reverse the decision to sack more than 30,000 workers. This came to the fore at a massive rally staged in Kaduna. Austin Aimbe covered that event.
Union leaders from different sectors and states were at the stage rally at the NLC Secretariat in Kaduna. They took turn to condemn the action of the governor, saying the disengagement by his administration is not in line with the international labor laws.
We are fighting and defending the right of 36,000 workers and their family that are being disengaged from Kaduna State.
President Buhari has not sacked workers. It's very, very important.
They said while reforms are critical for development, such should be evolved in conformity with the rule of law.
Nigerian Labour Congress is not happy with the anti-labor practices so far upheld in this state, and we are resisting it through this protest.
Protesters marched to Government House to register their grievances. They were received by the councillor to the governor on media.
He's not around. He knows their presence. He knows their importance. So he asked me, one of the most senior person in the Government House now, to come and receive them, which I did. After listening to their grievances, which we all knew about their grievances, mine is to deliver a message to the governor. What they were asking, based on what the chairman or the president of NLC Wabara told me, they're still asking the governor to have feelings of coming back to the table again, to listen to them and settle this issue amicably.
To ensure the safety of all in the state, security operatives were mobilized en masse to forestall any breach of the peace. In Kaduna, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
A bit of happiness in the world of sports shortly.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service,
For the last 24 years, NAFDAC has made steady progress in ensuring that the health of the nation is protected. Our collective responsibility is eliminating substandard, falsified, and unsafe drugs, medical devices, foods, and water.
I urge all Nigerians to support NAFDAC in safeguarding our health. God bless Nigeria.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Thank you so much for inspiring greatness in me, Alhaji.
Alhaji?
I am just rehearsing, dear.
Rehearsing for what?
A life-changing and inspiring meeting.
With who?
Alhaji Aliko Dangote.
With the FGNI app and just 500 Naira, you stand a chance to meet one-on-one with Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man,
and win cash prizes.
As the Be Inspired meetings give Nigerians a chance to meet one-on-one with icons. To qualify for the draw, download FGNI app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Go to the Be Inspired section and follow the instructions. Cost of travel and accommodation of all winners within Nigeria will be borne by the organizers. Terms and conditions apply.
Proudly supported by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Sports update is next.
Home-based Super Eagles played out a goalless draw with their